I don't want to believe this. I just saw this on a friend's Instagram feed. He's a former Marine. I trust him. This is from U.S. Special Operations Command Twitter feed. U.S. SOCOM welcomes our new Chief of Diversity and Inclusion. Special Operations Command, reminder, your job is to kill our enemies, okay? You don't need diversity inclusion. If you are qualified to kill our enemies, that is the only standard that matters. But it's not just our special forces. Let us welcome every Friday the lady who makes it all clear to us what's going on in this crazy economy. None other than Trish Regan. She is the host of the Trish Intel podcast. Follow her right now. Subscribe and go to her Twitter feed, Trish_Regan. Trish, you've written a superb piece, The War on Capitalism. It's at the top of my Twitter feed right now. But give us a specific example of the sheer insanity that's going on in California, for example.
California. Okay, you're leading me right to it because you have only to look, Seb, at Oakland, California to talk about sheer insanity. The mayor has very proudly introduced a city fund that will go specifically to anybody who is in a low-income stratosphere, right? So they're defining that by you're making as a family, meaning you have to have at least one child under the age of 18. If it's a family, you're making less than 50% of what is considered the norm, then you are qualifying as low income. But what's fascinating to me about this and what's so disturbing to me about this is that whites need not apply. You have the city using private funds, so I'll give them that, or at least the funds are private, but the city itself, government, is distributing these funds in a lottery system. They can go to people who are undocumented immigrants, but so long as they're not white.
So poverty, so in Oakland...
Undocumented, forget about it.
In Oakland, poverty does not apply to white people.
Correct. At least as far as the city's concerned, that's what they're effectively saying. So, you can be a poor white person in Oakland, but you're not going to qualify for the $500 a month handout that they're going to give because you're white.
And so if a program were suggested, Trish, if a program were suggested which said we're only going to give money to white poor people, what would be the result?
That would be illegal, right? So right. I would just look at this and, look, I come from the economic space, not the legal one, but I would just question how this is constitutional, how this is legal in any way, because you have a city that's now designating money based on the color of somebody's skin. So, they couldn't do it the other way around, certainly not. So why are they doing this? It doesn't seem right. And you compare and contrast that with what's happening, say, in Evanston, Illinois. By the way, Oakland is hoping that they can be a template for the rest of the country. Good luck. Good luck with that. Evanston also hopes that they can be a template. It's now the first city in the United States to vote for reparations. I mean, Seb, at some point we kind of need to get beyond this. I'm sure that there are pockets of racism. I'm not going to dispute that necessarily in parts of the country, but as a whole, we are not. That's not who we are. Really.
But let me try a thought experiment. So I'm pretty white, but my parents were Hungarian. I'm ethnically Hungarian, and a lot of Hungarians. My father managed to escape in the revolution, but a lot of Hungarians to this day, I've heard them say to me in Hungarian, feel bitter, feel betrayed by President Eisenhower because Radio Free Europe, the CIA-funded broadcasting company, said, the paratroopers are coming, brave Hungarians, resist the Russians, resist the Russians. Well, Eisenhower never deployed the paratroopers to Budapest in 1956, and the revolution was crushed. Could I theoretically apply for reparations to the American government, Trish?
No, because you're quote-unquote white. I guess that's the whole problem, right? Like, you could go on and on and on because there's plenty of examples. And by the way, consider how the U.S. government treated Asians. Right.
Yes. Manzanar, absolutely.
Exactly. And labor camps, I mean, this could just keep, and by the way, I'm a woman. Maybe I should be able to apply for something because as a woman, I haven't been treated that fairly. And by the way, I'm Irish, and the Irish at one point.
Oh my gosh, have you been oppressed? So Irish and a woman.
How dare you say it, right? I mean, but at some point, I think because I do believe in a meritocracy, and I believe that any meritocracy will be successful. But if you start to deviate from that and you say, okay, we're going to give you this, despite you maybe not having the skills or the talent for this, but you're going to just get it because you're the color of your skin. I mean, then that starts to get pretty crazy. And I love the example you just used with the military, because if there's one place where, and again, I'm all for diversity. I actually think diversity in the workplace and the military, it probably helps you, right? Think strategically about the enemy. But when it comes to special ops, I'm sorry, we can't just be like saying we need, one orange, one pink, one purple, one blue. We need the people that are most skilled,
yes,
most adept at squashing the enemy, period. And that's just the reality. And if we get away from that, I don't know where we're heading. And this is a war on capitalism and freedom.
Read the article, The War on Capitalism. It's at the top of my Twitter feed. We'll put it up on Facebook as well. Follow her, TrishIntel.com right now, and follow her on Twitter at Trish_Regan, TrishIntel.com. Trish, last minute and a half we have. The COVID bill is a disaster. It's a boondoggle. It's a payback scheme for all special interests. How afraid are you the infrastructure bill will be even worse?
I'm afraid. I think that unfortunately when you get the government involved with that much money, there's a lot of handouts, there's a lot of cronyism, and this is not money that's going to the places it really needs to go, nor is it money well spent in terms of innovation. I mean, the beauty of free market capitalism, right? In free market capitalism, the right interest gets served. When you have the government just making all these decisions for you, well, then it goes to these green energy projects that are pet projects by a certain class of people, and that doesn't actually advance the nation or put us in the right place. Ultimately, consumers need to have the choice here. They're the ones that are going to decide. And by the way, if people say, you know what, gas is too much, and I want the plug-in vehicle because that's going to work better for me and my family, then so be it. But that's a consumer decision.
Yes.
That's not a government-led decision.
It's not the government's job to choose winners and losers. Just one line from her new article. Shocking. We already are running a debt to GDP ratio of 102%. We are underwater, guys. Time to come to our senses. Read the truth. TrishIntel.com. Trish_Regan on Twitter. God bless you, Trish. Your call's next. 833-33-GORKA. Ask Dr. G anything. That's 833-334-6752. Give us a call. Violent crime is on the rise. Demonstrators burn down buildings, loot businesses, and threaten people's lives. Criminals get a get-out-of-jail-free card because of COVID, and they're talking about defunding the police. It's no wonder people are purchasing guns like never before. The need to be prepared for you and your family's safety and security has never been greater. That's where U.S. Law Shield comes in. They keep their members informed about ever-changing state and federal gun laws, and as a member, you'll learn how you can lawfully defend yourself and your family. For just $10.95 per month, get immediate 24/7, 365 access to an attorney-answered emergency hotline, and you won't pay a penny in attorney's fees if a nightmare self-defense scenario ever happens to you. Now, U.S. Law Shield is not a law firm and is underwritten by third-party insurers in many states. State law and insurance regulations apply. Please see the website for the applicable underwriting company and terms of coverage. Call 833-4-GUN-LAW. That's 833-4-GUN-LAW, or just visit uslawshield.com/America for a special radio offer. You'll feel better having a U.S. Law Shield program on your side. 833-4-GUN-LAW, or just go to uslawshield.com/America.